Big Z Reviews. Bad Education is a new movie that premiered on HBO this past weekend, and it is a really interesting kind of crime story based on a real true life story.
I got us all the way to number 4, and I will get us to number 1.
These are the best early decision numbers that we've ever seen.
They want me to write an article about the new budget.
Oh, okay. Soundbite. Nice.
You want to write this down, or you...
I'm taping.
Oh. Okay.
It's just a puff piece.
It's only a puff piece if you let it be a puff piece.
So this was directed by Corey Finley, and it was written by Mike Makowski, and it is about this this New York school that is one of the top schools in the country with getting, early acceptance to the main Ivy League schools. And there just happens to be that through a series of events combining the idiocy of one of the assistant superintendent's oldest child and the persistence of the school newspaper, they found out that there's something really bad going on in this school especially with where the money's going. So this mainly stars Hugh Jackman and Allison Janney as they're kind of the superintendent and assistant superintendent that's doing this whole crime thing. And there's also Geraldine Viswanathan as the main reporter that's finding everything. And apparently I think that she's kind of like a made-up character, just kind of an amalgamation of students that looked into this. And there's also like supporting roles from like Ray Romano and a bunch of other people. And everyone is really good. And I mean, this is like a drama, but it definitely has some darkly humorous stuff. And I mean, for a lot of it, it seems a little bit dry, because you don't know exactly what's going on. And you just kind of have to rely on, like, Hugh Jackman is like the star, and he's really likable. I mean, he doesn't look like Hugh Jackman a lot. He looks different. But I mean, he's playing this aging superintendent that dresses perfectly, immaculately, and who may or may not be gay, and that is is still in the closet, and pretending that his wife died years ago. And there's a lot going on here, and I like that. This for a lot of the crime movies, like when you have a bad person's doing things, and you're supposed to like feel for them. And I mean, sometimes I don't really get with that, because I can't really, they're doing really bad things. And this one, they're doing bad things, but at the same time, it's like they're not stealing from people. I mean, they're stealing from the taxpayers and the government. They're illegally, defrauding the state's taxes. And so they are kind of stealing from the people. They're not like stealing directly. And I think the only thing that comes into it is like, you find out that, I mean, this is a slight spoiler, but not really, and it's a true story. But the school, like, even though the school's doing really well, and it's a really great school, and they're going to build this sky bridge for like millions of dollars, the actual school itself is kind of run down. And so it's like, so you feel for them, but then as you get more, like, you don't feel for them, you kind of like feel them like you don't like them. And I like that they play it. They don't try to give them too much, like, to make them sound like they're too good of people. But they don't make them evil. They make them so that they say that these people, that you can see what they're thinking, like, but they're slightly like sociopathic about it, because it's not like they stole like a couple $1,000s. They stole millions of dollars. And I mean, they could have used that. I mean, they also did good though. They made a great school, and they are doing really well for the students. But I mean, they could have done better. I mean, that money, instead of taking it for themselves and buying on multiple houses and ritzy apartments and all this, sort of bullshit, they could have, raised the wages of their teachers. They could have, like, improved the actual school, made it so it doesn't leak randomly, or they could have done better things for a school with that money. So it's like it's a really fine line that they're kind of treading, where the guy you're spending so much time with, Hugh Jackman, is the bad guy, but you also kind of feel for him. Like, but I like how they play with it, because they don't try to minimize what he's doing and make him the hero. He is not the hero. The hero of the story is obviously Geraldine Viswanathan, who is the reporter. And I really like, though, how they did it with, like, early on when they first meet in the beginning of the movie. Like, she's just doing, like, a fluff piece on the Sky Bridge. And Hugh Jackman, as he's such his character, Frank Tassoni, he's such a believer in the students and bringing the best out of the students, so that he encourages her that there's always a story somewhere, to make a story out of this, and that's what kind of sets her on the path. And I'm sure that's kind of a bit manufactured to make it a good story, but I really like how they do that. And the movie is slow at times, but still I really kind of got enthralled by it. It's like really interesting as you kind of go deeper and deeper into what all they're doing, what all the defrauding is doing. And at first, I know, like, the first bit you get of it is just Allison Janney kind of doing, like, she's living in a really nice house. And I mean, her husband is like a car dealer, owner of a car dealership. And that's how they're kind of laundering some of the money. But, like, that's not, a car dealer shouldn't be that nice of a house. And I think, like, she's just using the card for everything. Like, one of her nieces, Anna Leigh Ashford, asked, see if she could get, a PlayStation for her kid. And they're like, oh, just use the card. And they're like, and it's like, so you get, like, all these, like, and the funniest thing is her oldest son is played by the kid from that the other Netflix mockumentary about the kid that, like, drew a bunch of dicks on teachers' cars, and, like, he kind of played the same sort of character in this one, where, like, the mom wants him to renovate the house, or, like, and work on the house. So he goes with the school credit card and buys, like, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of tools and stuff. And, like, it's really the way it's portrayed and directed. It's very interesting. And again, the acting by everyone is really good. And the story itself is just, I like how they progress it, and, like, I like how they don't, like, even like, they don't try to make it too heavy-handed about anybody, about, like, the ethics, or, like, you feel like, that they're bad, but, like, you also, like, see everyone else kind of, like, he keeps trying to play this, Hugh Jackman, through the whole movie, and play it out and try to make things better. And it's so interesting how they did it. And it's so, I mean, it's kind of real life. I mean, I know, like, this smart people, idiots that get in control of money will steal bits of money that are bad people. Bad people that are really intelligent and get a hold of money will steal a lot of money. And I know that it's even, like, I know when I was a kid in I think elementary school and middle school, they my mom was involved in all, the PTA, and later for high school and middle school, the football moms. But I know she had these experiences where, like, she usually wasn't running anything, but she was ended up doing a lot of stuff. But even though she was an adjunct professor, and but she saw a couple times where, like, the budgets, like the treasurer, like, things didn't really add up, and she didn't want to rock the boat and make a fuss about anything. But it felt like they were raising more money than they were spending on stuff. Like, I know this one, I think, is in elementary school. I know it's like, there's the treasurer, like, she always thought that she was just stealing money on the side, like, this extra money would just disappear. But it's kind of a horrible person that mother was. I remember that they had these the book fairs, the Scholastic book fairs back in the day. I'm not sure if they still have them, but I remember I was my both my parents were and are like huge readers, so they always encourage reading. So I think I probably had like a bag full of books, and my mom was like helping run the fair, and there was this one other kid whose mom was also there, was the son of the stupid mean woman that might have been stealing money. Like, and he who wanted this book, and she said, "No, you can't buy that book for you." And that my mom went up to him and said, "Hey, pick out a book you want, and I'll buy it for you." And then he went in to get the one book that he'd been looking at, and the mom told him, "No, go to the other shelf that has all the more expensive books and buy one of those." So some people are just, they're not good people. And it's just, even though they may not be like horrible people, but they'll do bad things. And even though like they might be likable at times, but they're people, and just people can be shitty. And I think I really like how this movie portrayed them. And it was a really interesting film. And I know they'll probably be replaying on HBO if you have it, or I know HBO Go. I don't think that's probably the only place you can find it right now. But Bad Education is a really interesting film. I enjoyed it. I probably give it like an 8.5 out of 10. But thanks for watching. Check out the playlist on my head and subscribe to me. See you over there. Thanks. This has been a Big Z movie review. Thanks for watching.